Hey guys, Breadgut Gaming here. Hope you're having a good day. I'm playing Jarl Dyre the Stranger today. We start as Jarl Dyre here in Russia. We are the grandson of the infamous Ragnar Lothbrok. We start with a good amount of gold and also troops, and 1,000 of them are actually special troops who will stand down on succession. So we do want to use all of these guys before we die, but I still recommend using them sparingly. My goal for this video is to try to recreate the Empire of Russia, which is going to take 62 counties, but if we have the max legitimacy discount, which we can get from level 5 here with the reduced de jure counties needed, we only need 54 counties, so that's going to be my overarching goal. Now let me do some startup things. So since I have a son, I'm going to educate him. I'm also going to select his education to become stewardship, since I do want him to become a builder. For myself, since I'm going to conquer a good amount, I'll start off with the martial lifestyle with the chivalry focus so I can get the 5 advantage. Since I have a good amount of prestige, I'm going to try to create or upgrade husk girls. I don't have any, so I'll make some here. I'll increase the size and also station all of my men at arms. I'm going to check my council for a few things. So I'm going to first convert my capital to a satru, since nothing here is a satru. I'm also going to get someone to become my steward so I can start promoting Norse culture here, since all the lands here are Russian culture. I do want to become the head of my culture, which unless I go and conquer lands in Scandinavia, I can't. So what I'll do is I'll promote a culture here, and then I can diverge the culture to make my own unique culture. Being the culture head is super important, since that lets us control the flow of the innovations we want. So I'll do that in the future once I have enough prestige and also get this converted. My other first steps are I want to secure my heir's power. So to do that, I want to get 2 full duchies. So right now I almost control this entire duchy here. I just need this one county there. And I think I'll go for Turov as the second duchy to control. So the first war I want to go for is against this guy here. So we'll declare war on him. And the reason I want 2 duchies is eventually I can add the Scandinavian Elective Law to the title. And once I have 2 duchies with Scandinavian Elective Law, I can vote for my heir, and that would actually give me early pseudo-primogeniture, meaning everything gets inherited by one person instead of the usual splitting inheritance, which I'll show you later. So for this war, I'm going to move my rally points a little closer to him. I'm going to raise all my guys and I'm going to put them on the same spot. Once they're there, I'll combine the armies. I can click this little helmet down here to split off my 1,000 special troops. I'm actually not going to use them for this war since I have enough men to defeat them. So I'll move my main army to this county here. Then, because I still have a lot more men than he does, I'm going to click station besiegers, meaning those 805 men will take over this county slowly, and I can send these other 1,600 men to attack my enemy. So let's move him over here. My dynasty unlocks sea wolves, and that's because one of my uncles, if I check my house here, so Ivor is the head of my dynasty, and he got enough renown to take a dynasty perk. This one actually is the best RNG we could have, so this will give me a lot of prestige from fame in battles, and we'll see. I'm going to use a lot of prestige, and since we're a tribal government, prestige means more power. Alright, so we already won, but you see he came and fought. I'm going to let the battle happen so that I can gain a little more fame. So that battle finished and we got a little bit more fame. I'm going to take over his county over here. This county that he also controls there is not part of Russia, so I actually don't need to conquer it. So I'm going to try to get a hostage if I can. He has a son, so I'll take it if I can. This way, once he comes to my court, he'll be my hostage and I'll get a little bit of monthly prestige gain. Once I won this war, I actually have access to the raised Runestone decision as a Norse ruler. This will let me spend some gold and I could get a lot of piety, prestige, and legitimacy. There's no reason not to get this. So we're going to use a conquest rune. This county over here is the first choice, and this conquest rune will increase the control growth, so we're going to do that. This will slowly increase that control, so eventually if we scroll down here, right now the control is 0, so I get no taxes and only half of the levies. And once that increases more, I'll get more taxes from this piece of land here. I do have a decent amount of prestige now, so I'm going to actually invite some champions. I see I can recruit this one guy who's actually pretty strong here. He's got a lot of prowess, so that's nice. He also counts as a courtier, so I can assign him. I'm going to make him my marshal. So I do want to work on conquering this guy of Turov here. But instead of going piecemeal for the counties, what I'll do is I'll wait until I have enough level of fame to become as illustrious, and I can use this conquered duchy to take all 3 pieces at once. I also do want one of these coastal counties because of this special Force the Jomsvikings decision. This will let me get some special troops if I have a county that's part of this coastal region. If you click that text there, it'll highlight which counties count. Since my level of fame and devotion is not high enough, I don't have to worry about it for now. And I'm going to use some of my gold to go on some activities. The activities I like are going to be hunts because they will give me prestige, but also the hunter trait will give me extended life. And since I have the ambitions of trying to build an empire, I want as much life as I can. I also want pilgrimages eventually to get piety so that I can reform my religion. And I can also hold feasts so that I also get prestige as well and also lose some stress. So for now, let me go on a hunt. I'm going to go for the most green looking area, meaning it has the best chance of success. I'm going to change my tent to slay beast for the best chance. And I'm going to increase my party size to the max so I get more prestige. I'll leave the success chance alone since I don't want to spend gold there. While my guy is going on a hunt, I'm going to come to my military and I can raise people as raiders in my capital. The raiders here actually only include my replenishable troops. You see it's 1,000 less than my total army. You can't raid with special troops, but we don't want that anyways since I only want to use the replenishable guys. So while I am going on a hunt, I'm going to look for some targets. So with 2,200 men, let me check my neighbors. This guy looks like a decent target because I like to go for battles for the prestige. This guy is a little too weak. He's not too bad. Down over here, we have these lands. Bulgaria's pretty similar. I think for now, what I'll do is, although this guy's similar in strength, his lands have maybe less gold versus these guys here sometimes have more gold since they're feudal. So I'm going to go over here. So for the intent of slaying beasts, we can pick either the default, which is a bison, which is actually nice because it's got 4 out of 5 prestige. The other choices are other animals and you can pick them at the cost of decreasing your success chance. So we got lucky that this highest one is the first default option. If it wasn't, then I would spend for at least a 3 out of 5 prestige to make it worth my time. For hunt options, I just pick anything with prestige gain. And even if we don't kill the beast, we earn prestige. When we succeed and get an artifact, if it's pretty good, which this one is, I get stress loss and night effectiveness. I'm probably going to keep this one. But most times if it's not very useful, I do recommend destroying them to get the gold. But for this one, it's not bad, so let's equip it. Some of my rating is to steal gold, but sometimes I want to fight a battle for prestige. First, I'll drop off my pillage at home. Then I will go to someone with a comparable army and try to fight them. It's okay if I lose since I already dropped off the gold. I do have a martial trait, so I'm going to pick Stalwart Leader, making it less likely for me to get hurt. I'm going to disband these guys for now. Using the extra prestige, I'm going to increase the size of the husk rolls. This time around, I'll probably wait until everyone replenishes before I decide to go raid again. In the meantime, I'm just going to host some events. So I probably can host a feast for some prestige. We'll host in our capital. So for these options, I can increase prestige gain. And since I don't have vassals, I don't care about opinion, I'll decrease that to save some gold. I also have enough piety and I'm going to actually divorce my wife. So my wife doesn't really have that many skills or genetics, so I'm going to divorce her. Then I'm going to look for someone who's better. I first prioritize genetics, so let's check to see if anyone's good. We're pretty lucky there's some geniuses, although they're lowborn. Let me see if there's any good highborn ones. So there's only 2 people here that are highborn. They give an alliance over here. This one is actually with the Rurikids, which are up here. I do want to fight them eventually, so I don't want an alliance with them. So let me actually go with this girl. It'll cost some prestige and also lose some legitimacy, but I think it's worth it. Before I lose too much prestige, let me actually spend it on some more husk rolls. I don't have an available regiment, so let me actually get rid of these light footmen and I'll create another stack of husk rolls and try to increase their size. So once the time passes, we do go into the negatives, but that's not a problem. So I'm going to raise everyone as raiders and let's see how many men we have. So we have almost 3,000 men. We might actually be able to sack Rome. So let's go and fight Rome. Here's the peasants. We're going to fight them once we come back. All right, the Pope's coming out now since he thinks he has a shot, which he doesn't. So that's a lot of good piety and prestige. And what I'll do is I'll stop raiding the next pieces and I'll just chase them once I'm done. So because we're so close, he can't disband, which is nice. Here's another son I got who luckily is a genius. I'm also going to educate him myself. I'm also going to do stewardship. Cool. So we got more. I'm going to keep chasing him since this is free. Alright, so we totally destroyed him for a lot of prestige and piety. We're now illustrious, so we can start conquering for duchies, and we have a decent amount of piety as well. Let me just finish raiding since this is a lot of good gold right here. I do have another martial perk. For this one, I'm going to go for Bella Justum to make my wars cheaper. So I have a third son, so that's awesome. He's also genius because both my wife and I are genius, so it's almost guaranteed to have it. And I totally forgot about the peasant uprising, but in this way, I guess we got lucky. Now our genius son is our heir. If he was a better knight, you could recruit him, but since he killed my children, I'm going to execute him. I also get dread and piety, which helps. As a Viking in Russian lands, I can take this special decision. This will increase the development here in Kiev, and it will give a big development boost for 100 years. I actually don't recommend doing this until you have level 8 development, and that is because once you're level 8, this will give a +4 bonus instead of +2, so I'll just wait to do that. Now that I've leveled up my fame, I can declare a duchy level war, so let's declare war and conquer that entire duchy. Alright, so we got a lot of territory. We also have 2 vassals. I will eventually revoke their titles if possible, but for now I have to leave them alone. I can create this second duchy title, and now I can use my prestige to create Elective Law. So I'm going to do that for the first one, and we'll continue conquering. I do have a martial perk, so this last martial perk, I'll go for Chivalric Dominance. And actually, I'm going to temporarily switch to learning for now because I do want profit to reduce my reformation cost, and I eventually do want whole of body so I can live longer. So for this one, I'll go for the theology focus for now. We actually captured a prisoner, so we can try to ransom her for some gold, which I can. So I can take 50 gold from her, and even though she left the prison, I still won, so I can enforce demand. So thank you for land and gold. We are almost exalted among men already. Looks like Minsk is getting pretty big. He's still a duchy. Let's see if I can invade a kingdom. So if I use invade kingdom, I'll take all these titles and I won't get the kingdom title, which I don't want right now. It is going to cost some prestige and I still need exalted among men. So let me first raid a little bit. After some raids and crushing a peasant rebellion, we do have enough to put elective law on this one as well. So that's perfect. Both of these have elective law, so I'm ready to concentrate my power. Before I go for Minsk, let me actually get a county so I can do this Forge the Jomsviking. So if I come up here, let's scan for an easy target. This guy looks pretty easy, so let's conquer him. Alright, so let's ransom him. I actually got someone else I could ransom as well. So let's ransom this guy for gold. Alright, so take all his gold and his lands. With that piece of land now, I just need 1,000 prestige to take the decision. So let's go raid someone else. I could create another duchy actually, so actually I don't need to go on raiding. So let's just create this duchy for that 300 prestige. And now I can take the Forge the Jomsvikings. So now I get 1,500 special troops. These will be inherited, so I'm going to definitely save these guys and use them very sparingly. For the prestige for Minsk, I went on a hunt and raided Rome. For learning, I could start working on profit if I double check my council. So this guy is finished, so I actually can start increasing the development in Kiev, and I can actually diverge my culture as well. Let me just see if I can get 1,000 prestige to diverge and take the war. Alright, so we got, let's see, like almost more than 1,000 prestige from him, so thank you. Okay, he's ready for me to take over. So we can actually declare war for a kingdom on Minsk. Let me just make sure I don't get the kingdom title. Alright, so all the de jure counties are given to me, so let's go to war for that. Also, before I forget, let me diverge my culture. So we're going to go for the bureaucratic ethos. That way we have more development, cultural fascination, and lifestyle experience. I don't really have enough prestige to change anything else for now, but I do want to be the culture head ASAP, so let's do that. Since we're the culture head now, let me actually focus on onager. You'll see it's going to take 42 years. But since it's only this county, the progress is based on this county. So as I increase the development of this county, the progress should accelerate. Here. So we got all that land here. So I have this amount of land to give out. I'm still not a king, which I don't want to be. If I become a king, the legitimacy requirements is going to change. So I want to jump from Duke all the way to Emperor. So I'm about halfway there almost. I can also subjugate Rurikid eventually. So that will give me 18 counties as well. So if I have 24, 18, that's 42. So I would need 12 extra. In the meantime, let me do some realm management. Let's see what's going on. So all right, with the extra lands there, I could give my second son these lands. For these here, I need to increase my tribal authority. That way I can eventually revoke those titles. For now, I do want to get enough piety to reform my faith as well. Kiev is actually one of the holy sites, so that makes it easier. You do need 3 holy sites to reform, so one of them is controlled by my cousin here, which he's kind of weak, and Prammerheimer is kind of weak, so this is a great time. Let us attack my cousin for upland. So this is another holy site. Let's also go on a pilgrimage. I need to go on a pious pilgrimage. We'll go for Prandheimer. All right, we got that. Let's take this upland. Next is Prandheimer, and I'll actually go on another pilgrimage, and we'll go to upland. All right, so we won Prandheimer. That done, let's see how much it'll take to reform my faith. So I'm going to do the things I like. I'm going to go for Medicant Preachers. We're going to keep Warmonger. We're going to go for Astrology, Equal, Righteous, Spiritual. I do like Theocratic. Lays, Clergy is not bad either, but I'll keep that. Polygamy, Unrestricted Marriage. I'm going to do Virtuous Witchcraft and Control. So we need about 55-40, which is almost there. So raise Runestone's not available for a few months, but I should be able to raise it, so I don't think I need to do anything. So instead we could turn our attention back to Russia, so I need 30 counties. So we can start fighting for things up here. So let's conquer this guy's duchy. All good. All right, what kind of decision? So here we can raise the Runestone. Let's just put it in Prandheimer. All right, now we're ready, so I can reform a Satru for 5,600 piety. All right, now we've reformed a religion. That helps us because we are now organized, and then this lets me adopt the feudal ways since we need an organized faith. Another benefit of being organized is I can now declare holy wars. So I declared the holy war against Khazaria, and I recruited some allies for help. I was super lucky and I captured the enemy in a battle. I can demand a hostage, so let's do that. Alright, so I got really lucky that I captured him. So we got all that land. So now we have 40. So if I just take over this guy, that's enough land for us to become an emperor. Before I take that over, let me actually use my high authority to revoke titles from this guy. So since he's going to rebel with a lot of people, let's raise everyone here. Alright, there's everyone who doesn't like what we did. That reminds me I can actually start the Holy Legend, so eventually I can convert my land. Let's do my grandfather in his honor. So Ragnar Lothbrok will get a court chronicler and have her promoted domestically. Got another learning perk. Because I already got profit, let me actually reset them. That way I can focus everything for whole of body. I do want scientific for the progress though, so let me do that. We'll go for constitution, carefree, restraint, and then once we finish this, then we'll probably do some other stuff. For this, let's continue down the same perks. For diplomacy, it's nice because Groom to Rule, when we reset it, it'll give us more skill points again. Thoughtful will double our gift opinions that we send, so that's nice. This symbol is because my realm size is too big as a duke. Extensions at realm size of 30. For everyone that's over, I'm actually going to get reduced taxes. You can see I get reduced by 65%, but soon I'm going to be taking him over. All right, imprison all of these people. So let's go to factions. We can see these are the guys we've imprisoned. So let's revoke all of their titles. So after securing the crown lands, I farmed prestige to declare my last war and 1,000 gold to create the needed titles. I was also able to upgrade my legend, which I'll use after securing the empire. Once I finished whole of body, I also changed to stewardship to go for architect. I am finally ready. So let's declare war and subjugate him. So he's got 18 counties and I have 40. So once I beat him, I have enough land to become the emperor. Alright, cool. So we won that. So now he's my subjugated vassal. So now I'm a king. Once I subjugated him, he's now my vassal and I took his kingdom title. So now I don't have that overextension penalty. So finally my income is positive. I also have enough land to form this empire title. Actually, did he give me 2? Yeah, he gave me 2 kingdom titles, so actually I didn't need to create another one. I said 1,000 gold because I might have to create the empire title, but also another kingdom title. So I actually took both of his kingdom titles. So yeah, we can make the empire title. Now, within 38 years, we were able to become the emperor of Russia, and we're pretty strong right now. There's just a few more things to do. So I can found the capital of Rus. This will boost the development by a lot. So we can see it's 8 but if I click that, it's now going to be 12, and you can see the development is going to increase by a lot. The other thing I want to do is become feudal once I save up a lot of gold. So right now I'm still not rich enough for the inheritance. Now let's check. My granddaughter will actually only inherit the empire title. All of these titles I have election on. I can actually vote for my granddaughter. Let me find her. I can't vote for my grandkid here actually. I'll do a adopt special succession for my empire, and I'll have to see if I can give everything to one of these children. So let's see who's the best. So there's this daughter, the brother here. This brother's really good, so we'll try to vote for the brother. Let's vote for him. So my voting strength's the highest. All right, so he's got all of those titles. The kingdom title, let's vote for him. He's rank 2. That's not a problem. I can always just remove the law there, but I'm not too worried about that one. All right, he's going to inherit everything I want him to inherit. He's just not going to have these titles that my granddaughter has, but we could take him on later. Since I now have everything I want, we can see that most of it is not my religion, but once I complete this, now I have this Evangelize to the Realm, and if I click that, most of the realm is actually going to convert to a Satru. So I just need to keep doing that. So I'll do another Holy Legend. We can also found a Witch Coven, so that's really good. I should also now go on Grand Rites. This is just free perks, so we should do that. So for this, you can pick one of these to see which one you can succeed in. So I'll go for the highest one, which is this one. So once I succeed, you can see one choice gives me a perk. I could lay with someone, could be friend with someone, or I could just lose a lot of stress. This is how you get free perks. The legend is done. Let's complete that one as well. So let's evangelize again. My land is basically all a Satru, so that should make succession smoother. I can also get a legendary shrine, so we'll just put it in there. Alright, so we died. Now I can show you how I would clean up the succession. Now that I'm the emperor, I have a lot of land up here that I don't really need, because again, the crown lands are down here. A lot of them are actually under control of my niece, so I eventually do want those lands back. So I don't mind if she does rebel in the future. For now, let's put people on my council. For Spy Master, I don't want this girl because she just hates me, so instead let's put my heir. Let's make her on disrupt scheme so I don't die. For the territories, let's grant it to, let's say, my second son here. So let's give him these territories up here that I don't need, so I can have like all of these maybe. Let's check my lifestyle. So I already have architect. Let's actually go down learning. Same thing, let's go down for the development. My primary heir is the wrong dynasty. That's because I haven't picked anyone yet. So let's, you see things are going to split a lot. Let's vote everything. Let's go for my daughter. All right, so let's check the elections. So everything is rank 1, so everything is now going to my daughter. So you see everything has pseudo primogeniture because everything's going to go to her. I can even remove this law eventually, so I don't need to vote for it, but I'll leave it there for now since I don't have enough prestige. For this, I can also check here to make sure I grant the people. So now she likes me a lot better. Let's see if I can create any titles. I'll just create these kingdom titles. And now my level of fame's higher, so my income is a little higher. All right, so now we just need to keep an eye on, will we get factions? It said my heir changed, so it's now my brother. So that's why I do want to use the prestige to remove this law. And now switch back to my daughter. Yeah, so the realm's really stable because most of the land is my religion and most of my vassals are my family members and most people like me. There's really nothing I need to worry about right now. The next thing I want to show you is how to transition from tribal to feudal. So let's see if I'm ready. So I am ready here. And because I have so much gold, I am ready for the transition. The thing is, you want to have a lot of gold ready because as soon as I transition, a few things are going to happen. My military strength is going to decrease by a lot because right now, these vassals, if you look, they give me a ton of levies. They basically give me almost all their levies, and the amount is dependent on your prestige or level of fame. Versus when you become feudal, it's much lower. So you'll see that's going to decrease by a lot. The other thing is your men-at-arms, instead of being paid for with prestige, we're going to have to pay for them with gold. So you're going to need a lot of income to upkeep all of these guys. 6k should be enough gold, but I'll do one more round of raiding. And that other thing is when we become feudal, we lose the ability to raid. Alright, so now I'm going to go feudal, so watch, I'm at 9,000 men, and I've decreased by a lot because you see my vassals give me almost nothing, and now my income's almost negative. All of the military here, you see, it costs 3.4 per month just to maintain them, and up to 10 when they're fully raised. Right now it's costing 10 per month because they're reinforcing, so I'll pass a few months. Yeah, so once they're fully reinforced, now they're costing 3.4 for a month, so it's a lot less. But that full amount is why people make the mistake of forgetting you should balance your checkbook. Basically, you want enough gold income so that these troops are not too expensive to upkeep. Otherwise you can lose 46 per month and you can eventually become broke. This is also why I saved so much gold, is so that as soon as you become feudal, all these lands that we plan to hold forever, we're gonna be able to start developing them. And you see these buildings are really strong. They give a lot of gold versus like a tribal building. Let's just pick a neighbor over here. You can see this tribe, it's got almost nothing. The tax is very little, and that's like the strongest tax building you could get. So that's why in the long term, feudal stronger. So we do want to get the feudal. We can also look here. We're going to go to the next era in like 5 years, and this will let me get even more research. So once we transition, you want to immediately start going for things with the most tax. The most tax one right now is manor houses, so we'll do that one. To make things faster, we can also hire a royal architect, which is very important. And because my lifestyle was already in stewardship before, professional workforce reduces the construction time, and architect also gives a discount in construction time. So let's build up the rest. So over here, if we scroll down, wetland farms is 0.3. If we keep scrolling, there's a trade port, which is good because of development growth, so we'll do that one. For this one, it already has 2 things here. The logging camp is good, but the earth ramparts is only for military, but I wouldn't do military, I would focus on gold. So I'm actually going to change it to the best gold thing I have, which is probably like a hunting grounds or a hospice. So let me change it to hunting ground. And so you can also do that over here. We see there's one we missed, so we can try to build something here as well. Now we can just chill. And you can see our income is actually starting to become positive. So that's as much as I'd upgrade for now. So it's just a matter of waiting for this research to finish. The only downside is with our religion, we have warmonger. So we do occasionally need to go to war. For the wars, we can continue finishing the jure for this empire. So let's go for, let's say like this guy over here. We can conquer his duchy over here. Because our army sizes are overwhelming, I'm actually going to just do men-at-arms. But you see my income goes from 1.6 to minus 16.2. So if we sustain this war for too long, we're going to become broke. So that's why we want to upgrade all these buildings ASAP so that we can support the army. All right, that's a victory. Alright, so we're in the next era. So I'm going to first go for battlements, then manorialism. Battlements will let us upgrade the actual level of the castle, and then manorialism will increase the economic buildings. So we're going to go for that first. It's going to take like 14 years. But you can see the progress is 0.6 now, because again, we only have 1 culture county. So that county has 30 development. Eventually, when I get it high enough, I do want to promote the culture of this specialized Norse culture into the other counties, because you can see culture is Russian here. So if I try to upgrade, it's dependent on the Russian culture. So that's why this capital county with this culture, once we make our culture super good, we want to spread it to all of our holdings, and that way we can actually increase everyone's buildings. There's a plague somewhere. This one can actually reach us, and this can kill us or my children. So my heirs in my court. So I want to make sure she survives to escape. Host the feast, except we're going to put the feast as far from the plague as possible. And hopefully my daughter also comes with me. I know she has temperate. My daughter's not coming, it looks. Let's manually invite her to the activity. All right, cool. So she's escaping with me to the feast that's over there. This is where our feast is, and the plague's over there. So we've successfully escaped, it looks like. It's now receding. All right, so we died. So now my son will be my heir. We'll make him stewardship and vote for my son. So you see, it'll split with my daughter. But again, with election, we have pseudo primogeniture. Let's fill our council up. We want the strongest one. We'll put everything else. This sister, we could probably send a little gift. It's too expensive. She wants my territory, so that's not good. Let's just swap her with someone who likes us more. We are going to go down stewardship, and I don't think we should have any factions. It says they're a little strong now. Let's see if we can just negotiate an alliance since we are siblings. I think this is probably a good place to stop since you get the general idea. Right now I'm just gonna be passing time and upgrading the buildings, and as I get better research through the innovations, I'll also be able to increase the size of these men-at-arms, and eventually I'll also have some bonuses to the men-at-arms through some of these military buildings, and pretty soon my military strength and my wealth is secured, and also being able to conquer the rest of the world. Thanks for making it so far. Please consider subscribing and liking this video since it will help me tremendously. Thanks again from Bread God, and hope you have a good day.